Hello world, this is Lee from Prague, the local town near Prague. So it's revelation times, as some of you realize, and things are being revealed, things that we think we know that ain't so. And one of these things is, what is a woman? Yes, the question remains unanswered, believe it or not, and it's unanswered because both the left and the right in the West massacred the answer, I'm afraid. The radical left calls a woman a social construct. Well, Bugs Bunny is a social construct. Mickey Mouse, Santa Claus are all social constructs. Calling a woman a social construct is an insult. Get real. The right calls a woman a female. Which is kind of true, by the way, because all women are females, without exceptions. However, not all females grow to become women. There are some exceptions. You'll see what by the end of this video. So let's start from the beginning, which is sex. We are all born as males or females. This is our sex assigned at birth based on our genitalia. It's our physical being and it cannot be changed. It's binary. During our growth, we have to develop something to become men and women. And this something is called gender. Yes, gender. Another controversial topic. The radical left calls gender a social construct. Again, just like a woman. I will not further discuss this. The right, who are normally more constructive, calls gender a female, male or female. Just like sex, exactly like sex, which is nonsense. You cannot have two words meaning exactly the same. And gender is something else. You all know what gender is. You just have to remember. Remind yourselves from your language classes. Because nouns have gender, grammatical gender. Remember? Yes. Masculine, feminine. This is our gender. Masculine, feminine. There's a lot of talk about masculinity, and there is no doubt that the male needs masculinity in order to become a man. A man is a masculine male. It's that simple. Guess what? The same applies for the female. The girl needs femininity, the nurturing, caring spirit of the woman, in order to become a woman. A woman is simply a feminine female. And that's all. Easy breezy. So a woman is not a female. She's not a pile of flesh as the right suggests. She's more, I'm afraid. And all got it wrong. Now, here comes the bad news. The world has a concept of masculine women. Women apparently becoming more and more masculine, especially in the West. You realize now that masculinity is gender, and it's men's gender, not woman's gender. A woman is whole, complete. She's a feminine female. Being masculine is kind of an oxymoron. And you cannot hold two genders at the same time. Unless probably with some split personality disorder. You're either masculine or feminine. Or neutral. Or kind of androgynous. A girl during her development may develop or transition towards masculinity. Transition. In this case, she remains a female only because she doesn't develop femininity, her natural gender. She is a masculine female only, not a woman. She says bye-bye to the woman by developing masculinity. There is a clinical term for this development, and you can already guess it. Yes, transgender female. A female that develops the opposite gender, masculinity. Same applies for the male, of course. A transgender in general is a person that develops the opposite gender. It's that simple. So there is no such thing as a masculine woman. I'm afraid you got it wrong. It's a huge misconception. And here comes the real bad news. Some years ago, I saw a statistic on American women saying that 40% of young American women between the ages of 20 and 40 are masculine. You realize that this statistic now should read 40% of young American females between the ages of 20 and 40 are transgender females. Yes, it's that bad. And that was 7-8 years ago. Now it's even worse. America, you got it wrong. There is attack on masculinity. It has its intents and purposes. However, it's mostly a distraction from the real attack, which is on femininity, on women. Wake up!